Yes, please. Yeah,
Chair Jordan Burns,
here.
Vice Chair Tosh Greer,
Here.
Carol Sade.
I was gonna say, I don't know if your mic's on.
Sorry. Sure your guys are okay. So Jordan Burns Chair is here, Tosh Greer Vice Chair is here, Carol Sade, Town Council is absent or maybe online. Let me. Yep, she's online. Isolda, Lori, Jatuan,
Here.
Daniels, Lori Morocco, Sylvia Vicuna,
Present.
and June Walters. Absent. Okay, thank you.
Cool. And then I guess I'd like to call to order today's meeting for July 17th, 2024. June 17th. Getting ahead of myself.
I don't know. Where are we?
So then we have the discussion and approval of the agenda for this meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
Awesome. And then a discussion and approval of the minutes from May.
Motion to approve, if everyone's okay with those. Second. Third. Fourth.
Awesome. Then we'll go right into the staff summary.
Thank you. So just a reminder that we're going to have a commissions training, boards and commissions training on July 16th at 3:30. There will also be a recording if you guys are not able to make it or need to make it virtually. But that would be a good time to kind of talk with Kristen, who is our lawyer and can kind of give us some guidance and to just legal matters and how do we present the board and the commission and right?
Yes, so Kirsten is she really asks that certainly the chairs and vice chairs make sure they attend this, and anyone's welcome, obviously. It's basically how we're trying to give pretty consistent training to all of our boards and commissions so they understand kind of how we interact and how we approach these things, what the standards and expectations are. It will be recorded, so if you need to not make it personally at that moment, you'll be able to get access to it later. But we want to give you a heads up at this point, just so that everyone, all of our boards and commissions, all have the same information as far as how we move ahead and how we interact.
What specific day of the week is that? I know it's the 16th, but
Tuesday.
it's a Tuesday.
It's right before. It's planned to be right before our planning commission, which starts
perfect.
at 5:30.
Mhm.
So it'll be 3:30 to 5, and then there's a bit of a break before planning commission starts at 5:30. So
Cool.
You are all welcome and encouraged to attend. And if you have any questions, obviously contact us, any of us. And it's right. It'll be right in here. Yep.
It's Tuesday, July 16th at 3:30.
Correct.
And then the other thing we wanted to also give you a heads up is that the runway housing project has begun its initial phase. So it's still kind of doing the planning and looking at who are they going to serve. And they wanted to make sure that the Social Equity Advisory Commission has a chance to kind of guide them through that situation. What are the community's needs? What are you guys seeing? What social equity aspects that we need to keep in mind, especially because this is going to be one of our biggest and probably last kind of project that we're going to be having. So we want to make sure we get the needs right and we don't miss anything that social equity speaking that we could have, because this is going to be a big one. So just giving you a heads up that that's coming. They're going to continue to plan, and at some point we'll have them in here and just start thinking about kind of what do we want to make sure we hit with this project. And then our equity grant website is live. Let me share my screen. So it's right underneath the Social Equity Advisory Commission, and then right under its grant application and process. And this is what it looks like. And to highlight, the documents are at the end, but they are open so people can see them a little bit better. And throughout, we just kind of place the process of applying and what things they should look for, the guidelines. So all that information is on there.
It looks great. Whoever did that, thanks.
You're
Great job.
welcome. It was efforts between Brooke
Teamwork.
and I. So
Good job, y'all.
Is that announced, Flora, or not yet?
not yet. But I do have cards. So we have business cards with the QR code. So feel free to or take these. Don't forget to take some on your way out
Okay.
and distribute them to whoever you think it would be great. We already discussed during one of our meetings our immigration and advocacy about potentially requesting, but I don't know how that would work because we're requesting for potentially some health and wellness classes for Spanish speaking community members because the way sometimes that we would have to offer them would have to be through like a contractor.
Yep.
But we'll discuss more about
Sure.
that. But yeah, any comments on the website or anything else?
Clean.
Perfect. Then we will move on.
Perfect. We have our equity lens update. So we got to see a revised version of the equity lens this week. I love the new color scheme. And then we worked on the objective, like opening statement for it. And I think we all came to an agreement that it's a lot more concise and direct in its objectives.
Good wordsmithing, though.
You did a great job, team.
And we also have a Spanish version. Sorry, I did not download that, but we also have a Spanish version. Same content, just in Spanish. Which I'm happy to send out to Isaura and Sylvia maybe for some final edits, just to make sure it sounds.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we were just talking more about using this because I know it was something that we developed a few years ago with our like equity blueprint, but it never really got put into any use. So now we can start sending this out to a lot of our community partners in the town and then using it ourselves for like any kind of events to make sure that they're accessible for everyone who's looking to attend. And just making sure that, you know, it's so easy to get caught up in just like wanting to throw an event and in the big picture of what you want to do to make sure that you're not forgetting anyone in the community and just asking those extra questions
Totally.
that we all think are important. So I'm excited to see this get used. And again, I'm loving the new color scheme. It's brighter and a lot nicer than the brown and orange one. Those are my college's colors, and I'm kind of tired of seeing brown and orange together.
I think the commission should know too. I had a brief conversation with Councilperson Carlton last week. I think it was on Thursday. And he was talking about how he is now starting to recognize how this lens is starting to shift his mode of thought in terms of things equity as it relates to housing.
We love that.
No, right? So I felt like I needed to bring that to the commission to make sure that y'all heard that. But the work that we are doing is starting to get out there. And it's coming back out, at least in terms of communications with people. So keep up the good work.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
He was a part of the initial group. So I'm happy he's still
Yep.
seeing what we're doing and
Brought me up
applying
to speed
it
to the arc of where we were before I joined to where we are now. And yeah, I made it a point to know that, hey, that equity lens is really starting to shape the way that we think.
it's such a cool tool, and you know how we're all in our process of learning. It's great to have reflective questions that we can all look back on that we've asked ourselves throughout the time, and make sure that we're asking it to others, and even just to provide documents like this, and to kind of segue into the next thing with the land acknowledgement, like just making sure that we're acknowledging where we are, and who were here before us, and making sure to pay all of our respects.
Mhm.
Sorry to roll into that like that. Floor.
Great segue.
We talked about using our land acknowledgement that we have in our equity blueprint,
Mhm.
and giving that to other entities throughout town who would like to use it. But with the caveat that if there are any changes that they would like to make, that it would come back through us.
Yeah.
Because Susan Gilmore and June, I don't want to say Brooke or Mac or but there was and is a lot of care and thought put into that document, that we just don't, we want to keep it as is as much as possible, because we think it's really nice where it is, but understanding that other entities who may use it and may see it may have suggestions or may have other experiences to where they can add information, and we'd love to keep that the same across the board.
Yeah. Keep it as authentic as possible.
Well, like if someone knows someone from the tribes and can have, everyone has the
Sure.
potential for valuable input and changes, that we'd love to consider all of it, and meet those people as well. So I think just keeping our option open for change, because it's all growth and learning, and that if someone has input, that would love to hear it, but would hate to see it in 10 different versions, because a few people decided like a few sentences shouldn't be there here and there, and
Yeah.
not understand how we got to that point. So
Keep it consistent.
yeah, just create a discussion, a continued discussion, if it is going to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
If I may, two things. One is, I think having the land acknowledgement discussion. So if someone does want to make edits to this, to come back to this group, I think elevates the discussion and actually allows us all to learn and grow from that. So I think that's one angle of this. So I appreciate and agree that we should keep this as consistent as possible. But I would think we would welcome that type of discussion if people have things to offer, or edits, recommended edits, that kind of thing, that we could entertain those and have that discussion. The second thing is, we will, I think, separately bring this. I think we decided to bring the land acknowledgement itself, like separated on its own, to council for a final review and kind of approval. So that was just to kind of make sure that all of its, since this is an advisory commission to council, we just want to make sure that they sign off on the verbiage here. I think that'll just help solidify this as a valid land acknowledgement that we can use in multiple locations.
Cool.
I have a question. Would we then kind of own the document, or would it be, when there are edits and things, it will come back to us, or?
Yes, I mean, I feel like,
Okay.
I mean, own the document. I think that's a tougher
You know what I
question. It's
mean,
kind of
like,
owned.
We
We
protect it.
I think you all are the caretakers of it. I think that's
Okay.
accurate.
That's what I was thinking, the caretakers of the dot, right?
Yeah, and like I said, if there are changes or edits, then I think council will ask you all and say, hey, we'd like to see this change, or we'd like
Probably
to
the town
change
owns
this way. That your input is very much valued, and so that's where I think it comes. Is that ultimately council makes these decisions, but they really want to take it under advisement, especially with your input.
Pretty sure BTO read that. Yeah, they did. They read that on Thursday, didn't they?
Mhm.
At the annual meeting.
Yes.
And then it was right on Saturday
At
for Pride, yep,
Mhm.
as well.
Before the events took off.
Yeah, it was that, and then the Pride proclamation for that as well. I loved the amount of education that was throughout that event while I was there, and both in these two things as far as the town and the land acknowledgement, but also in the continuation of just like Pride history and how to support those groups as well. So I thought that was really cool.
Mhm.
And then the attendance being so
Robust.
yeah, just the age range
Mhm.
was I thought like one of the coolest things to see um, all of us adults who know why we're there, who know who we're supporting and loving, and to see all the little ones just learning what love is and learning how to just be humans and be supported and be taken care of and to enjoy the moment. And they heard their favorite songs and they were up dancing and just engaging with the performances, and it was just such a fun environment to be in, knowing that like everywhere you looked everyone was having that collective like happiness.
Mm-hmm.
um,
That's what I think it was happiness. There's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Mm-hmm.
So it was a really fun event to you know
Be a part of.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I overheard too, just like someone saying like that they didn't know Breck had an event like this, and
Mhm.
um
They sure do
just
now.
the sense of community. And I can only see it getting bigger in the coming years, just because it was so much fun, and it wasn't like bookended with like having to see like police there to like protect people. It was just people, like we were all just there and happy, and there was never an unsettled feeling of like you didn't feel safe or you had to see people there to keep you safe.
Yeah.
Like
There's a very
it was
welcoming environment.
yeah.
And obviously there was police presence there, but you can, I don't know where they were. They were somewhere protecting. To piggyback off of that too, it was just, I think the location was also a game changer. Amazing. We'll get into that. I think we're this discussion. But yeah, definitely a great location. Great location. It really pulled people in that were kind of, maybe didn't know, like you
Just
just said.
visiting
Or,
town.
yeah. It was a great place to stop, come and go and come back and go again. And I thought it was a great central location for
Yeah.
the town.
Just that Blue River Plaza area, just with people kind of coming, always meandering through there just off of Main Street. It was loud enough that you could still hear it, that it would draw people over. I saw some
Yeah.
people on bike rides who stopped
Yeah.
just to see what was going on and
Yeah.
listen and hang out for a little bit. And
Yeah. It was almost like the music was calling people in. It's like, what's that sound? Yeah.
and even with a little bit of rain, that never deterred anyone. And I know it was like even talked about a few times, just like, hey, you can't have a rainbow without rain. So hopefully we'll.
So true.
Yeah, it was amazing. Even though there wasn't a section there for that, but I think it was great to talk about. So we did some interviews this week, and we're working on filling the seat vacancy. I don't know how much I can talk about that now, Flor, but we have
We'd like to recommend someone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
we have someone who we like and who we
Yeah.
think would be great to join all of us. And speaking with them, like their values really align with what we're all hoping to do and planning to do. And I think that they can fit very seamlessly into our collective thought and add a lot of valuable information to the things that we don't know as well, which is always
And another point of view that I think we're missing in the commission that is important to have the different perspective.
very much.
Can we know the point of view? Or is that?
As a
It's just for their experiences in life and everything is
Yeah.
different than what we have right now here. So that's what I thought it would be different. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So the
position curious.
it hasn't been offered yet, so we can't know. I don't know.
We do have to, because we have to kind of motion it and
Okay.
recommend to the commission, and then we have to agree upon it. So do you want me, or do you want?
Can we know a little bit more information, like how many total candidates?
Yeah, so we
and,
had
like,
9 applicants,
Okay.
initial applicants. I know, it was great. Going from like, we
That
didn't
is
have
good.
any, and then we got 9. And then out of the 9, once we sent out the request for the questions, we got 4 back. And then one of the candidates had to no longer, he told me he had a position come up with DC, which sounds amazing, good
Wow.
for that person. And the other three we interviewed, one had a really big focus on immigration, which was amazing. He was a great addition. I think he would have been great as well. And we had another one who works well with our Spanish speaking community members and a lot of the restaurant kind of workforce. And she also had a great point of view. Like they were all so amazing that it
I
was
know
really
it's really hard
I
position.
think.
That's why I was like, I don't know if I want to do this
Yeah,
round
yeah.
again.
I've been on a lot of them. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
to this one.
Any of them that had applied before?
Yes,
Okay.
but one of them didn't get interviewed before, I believe. But I believe this person had applied before as well.
Okay, awesome.
Well, cool that they have that interest still. And
Yeah,
that's really nice.
and
to hear.
hopefully in the future, I mean, because they're also wonderful. Hopefully, if we
is.
ever need them again.
I would say it is a tough decision. It's not easy because everybody seems to be
Mm.
very good
Qualified.
candidates. Yeah.
And please remind them that if they want to help with any of the subcommittees, like they're still more than welcome to
We
help.
were talking about that.
Yeah.
too. We
Yeah.
met.
Keep them
We
involved.
mentioned that to them. I can't remember.
Keep them involved.
No,
Oh, okay,
because
no.
Kara wanted to talk about it. Yeah, to see before we.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, but we always love that valuable insight and things like that. So even though we can't bring everybody on, we would still love to work with them and we get to meet them. So if they are interested in any of the subcommittees, please have them join us. And they don't have to commit to everything, but anytime they have opinions, we would love to hear about it.
So are we doing that recommendation in motion right now, today?
Yes.
Okay.
That third person or the person that we are recommending, her perspective is she's an immigrant as well. Moved to the U.S. Before as a preteen, and she's immigrant from India. So that perspective that we don't have, and she's also one of those residents that works from home. Is a remote worker, but had to build a community within Breck without having that like work
Yeah.
experience. And so that's something new that Jordan, and sorry, I'm new, so I didn't know, but Jordan and Isabella were saying that we haven't had before.
Yeah, I'm sorry, a few kids in the Summit School District now, so that's helped her
It's a great perspective.
build.
Like build that community.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so do you wanna?
It was somebody who she went through the challenge as a young person to adapt and get involved in United States, go through that, the culture impact and the way that you need to adapt and all that. So I feel that was a very rich perspective.
Mhm.
I got that, but as an adult, like
Mhm.
she was a young person who was really getting like you, I guess. or- yeah, right?
Similar, yeah.
Yeah, but you were younger, right?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like it's yeah.
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
And she's always been because she's been always involved since her kids were in preschool with the school and all that. So it's a member that really wants to participate and be part of their community and
Mm. Exciting.
Say her name? Okay. Her name is Miss Ujela. I'm not-
Ujala Batas, yeah.
So yeah, we would love to recommend for her to have a seat on the commission. Second.
I would second it.
Motion to approve, yeah.
Moved and
Second.
Motion made by Jay, yes.
Motion made by Jay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, she was amazing and her perspective was awesome. And I think having kind of been in the community and worked from home and been a bit reserved, especially like through COVID and now getting back more into the community and having kids in the community as well. Like I think that building that future of what our community looks like is so important, especially with the youth and kind of learning what the school districts are doing and how they're helping and yeah, and just having, I guess, just a different background from all of us too is really nice, and all the life experiences that we get to learn more about.
I can't wait. I truly can't.
Yeah, I think if any of you who weren't there were there, you all would have
Agreed.
loved her as well.
Well, we trust you. That's why we can split up and I still trust you guys. Awesome. Well, that's that.
Perfect. Great. Thank you. Then we will move forward to council, and as soon as that is approved, I will let you guys know.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And then yeah, I will help with those emails for.
Thank you.
So,
Now comes a thank you, but no thank you.
and then that's when we'll invite to our subcommittees as well, because there was a lot of interest throughout the other candidates in our in immigration rights and advocacy. So we may have a few more helping hands in with those projects. So I think that would be
Awesome.
really cool.
And we need it because we have 3 big ones coming up.
Thank you guys for doing all that work, and I know it's tough, so I know you, I trust your choice, yes. I think you made a great decision.
We had little Quinn to help us out.
And thank you, Jordan, Isaura, and Carol, who were on the subcommittee for helping and being part of that.
Good work, y'all.
And to go into our subcommittee updates now, we had celebrating diversity, community outreach and engagement, and community education and influence. Our big 3 meeting. That one's it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed combining those 3 groups. I think the energy of it and the topics just flow so like well across one another. It's really like kind of easy to take concepts and put them into actions and like put them in the right place, and it's less of a, oh well, we have to wait for this group to meet to then talk about how it's going to be used. So we had our Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month social media posts, which was June donated a lovely piece of family history to be shown, which was awesome. I did not get a chance to see it in person, but the pictures looked so cool to see a traditional Japanese kimono with her family crest weaved into it or embroidered into it. Is amazing, and I love all of June's stories and histories, and she brings out so many things that we would not expect but are so lovely. And the Instagram had a 6.39 engagement rate, and the Facebook had a 3.6 engagement rate. I know that I shared it with my family and friends just to hopefully get some more eyes on it, because it's just a lovely piece of history, let alone a friend's personal family history. That is just so cool. So we are continuing to get better engagement through Instagram and Facebook.
Can I
Posts.
ask a question?
Yeah.
6 point, what'd you say?
6.39.
Like out of 10, out of 100?
I'd assume out of 100.
Okay.
So it'd be
It's
not
out of the people who viewed it. So we were, who viewed it was 100 or 807 that displayed on someone's screen.
Mhm.
And then out of that, 6.39% engaged with it.
Got you.
somehow.
Cool. Thank you.
and then on Instagram it reached 657 unique accounts. And then on Facebook, the impressions, it was seen 1,342 times. It reached 1,294 people, and then it had 47 people who liked, commented, or shared.
Awesome.
So not to, we did talk about pride, but not to skip it, but just to continue this conversation. we talked about the like Show Us Your Breck campaign,
Mhm.
and that's going to be one of the first projects that we do that asks something from the community. Just because like with June's post and then with a lot of our social media posts over the years, it's been us showing something to people. We haven't really asked for anything back. So the Show Us Your Bread campaign is going to be extended to all year long. And we were hoping to get like stories and pictures from our community, and just to continue to grow like our catalog of diverse images and to show what our what Breck is. Because it's, you know, it's not your traditional advertising pictures, it's not your your ski resorts, you know, it's
Stock
your
photos.
we have such a mixed family here, both in backgrounds and in age diversity, and because everyone has their friends from that they make while they're here. So like that's really what we want to show.
Yeah.
So that'll be a really fun push and opportunity for the community to tell us how they enjoy being here, which will allow us to get photos from across the season. So we'll have diversity, not just winter things or not just summer things. And I was thinking, or we were all thinking, at the end of the year, we could do like kind of a yearly wrap up collage and be able to show like, you know, maybe even like our Pride event, we might get pictures from that and just all the things that happen throughout the year here and really show like all of the people who are visiting here, all of our community. And then since it's not tied to anything and you can just submit pictures and it doesn't have to come with a story, hopefully it'll actually show our community. Because there won't be any fear of any like retaliation or anything like that. So if you are an immigrant or and afraid to share your name, you don't have to. You can just share a picture of the way you're enjoying this place, and really hope that the representation will be there because of that. And then we'll wrap back to Pride, and I think that was an awesome event too, just because there was so much representation there. There were people from all of life, and
Not only that, but they were enjoying themselves. Yeah. And I feel like there wasn't, like, it didn't feel like there was judgment. It didn't feel, it was just fun. Everybody was just coming together. You know, people would just come right up and talk to you, vice versa. Like, it was just, yeah. Sorry.
No, I agree. And you know, you did get to see like a lot of I saw several of my friends from the community there as well. And it didn't come with that like, oh, you're here, like stigma with that question sometimes. Like where people are like, oh, like I'm surprised to see you here. It's like, oh my god, like I love you, like
Yeah, pleasant surprise.
So yeah, that was all. I mean, to me, that's always enjoyable to not get that, like, oh, you're here, like kind of connotation behind questions. So like, that was just a nice, like, loving moment
Example.
to just exist with other humans and to be a part of life and to be enjoying the moment and the performers and like how we had mentioned earlier, just like the age range of everyone who was there and how everyone felt comfortable bringing their kids to a drag show.
There were
Like,
so many kids.
there's
There were so many kids. I loved it.
and they were there and they were engaging, and the performers made sure that the kids had a fun time there. And
Yeah, I'm also really glad that there were resources like the crafts and the interactive like
like the painting
the painting, the
Real tactile.
necklaces. It was super kid friendly. The make your own flag.
I love the big
The
Pride
colors.
inflatables.
That was so fun.
Both the
Yeah,
big one that said
decorations
Pride
too.
and the rainbows were amazing. Like I saw people taking pictures, like kids were climbing in the Pride letters. Yeah, I saw one kid like in the D in Pride, just like kind of laying there. It was so cool.
Yeah, that's super cute.
I
And the way
know.
that it was, sorry,
Yeah.
the way that it was set up too, like I loved that we had the picnic tables, for whatever, and then the blankets really created that communal feel too of just like come sit on the grass and just enjoy your life. And it was a gorgeous day. So I really loved the juxtaposition of options, so that way everybody kind of felt like there was a place for them to be instead of just like kind of wandering around an event and like not really knowing where to sit or like, I don't know,
Yeah, no,
It's
like
just pop a squat anywhere.
we sat down at a few different picnic tables. Like I know we sat with yourself
us,
and another. But then another point in time, we were like, oh, we need a place to sit, and just hopped at the end of a table with some other
Exactly.
people, and there was never oh, like we're saving this, or oh, this is for someone. It was just like we just sat down, and everyone's just like, oh, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Um,
I really liked that.
so that was awesome, and like I left before it, but I saw the social media clip of the Taylor Swift performer,
Mhm.
and that looked like the crowd had gotten even bigger.
Yeah, I was front and center for
Um,
that. It was fun. I almost became a Swift.
I mean, you were a dancer at one point. In there.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, I loved I love that engagement, and I love that event so much, and I'm happy that with how that Saturday went, and I hope that how well that went will continue on into some of the other activations we have this month, especially in like learning how to be an advocate. I think that could, yep, on the 19th, I think that could be just a huge continuation on how to continue to love your brothers and sisters around you, and be there for them and be supportive. Because it's as much fun as you have like in the day, like it is a year-round process of being there for the people that you love, and care for, and making sure that everyone has those Saturdays where we can have fun and let our hair down and be ourselves. And that's important, and I know we talk about it all the time, and that's how we want to make Breck is a place where people can come and feel that way all the time, and never have to worry about how other people think of them here, and they can just enjoy how they want to live life. And as long as you're loving and caring for the people next to you, that's all I care about.
Yeah. And I also feel like for me, a big part of allyship that I look for, that I, embody, is like sticking up for people in rooms if they're not in, and being able for them to have a voice even when they don't have that opportunity. So I don't know. I'm not the workshop coordinator. Just saying, just a little humble plug. Kind of to talk about Pride a little bit more. Just a couple questions. I know that last year, after our first Pride, we immediately started planning for the second Pride that just happened. So do we have like a game plan on how we want to start planning for next year already? Because I do know that like the Riverwalk Center is really hard to book, and different performer, all that stuff. So I don't know. I don't really know where our hands are on that right now.
So the BTO is gonna own the following Pride events,
Amazing.
and they're already working. They were working on the 5-year plan, and they're already working on what it'll look like next year and the following. So yeah, they're already on it. I think they were on it even before this one happened. But I can ask them if they want to come give us an update of what will be next.
Yeah.
But yes, they are fully on working on it. And then I haven't gotten reached out, but I will let them know that if what can we do to help
Yeah.
that event.
Yeah.
But I hear great things from what I heard last time I was in their office. They are already super excited for the next one. So yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
Before, especially with the energy right now, still, fresh, in terms of what went really well, ideas for improvement. You know what I mean? I'd
Yeah.
really appreciate that
I would love
sooner rather than later, while we're still in that good energy with the event.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know what I mean? We can focus really on those things that went well, in an effort to make sure that we can enhance it for next year.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could ask her to come to our next subcommittee,
Be awesome.
and maybe we could give her, or would you want subcommittee or commission?
I think commission.
Commission. Okay,
Mhm.
perfect. I'll keep them. I'm sure they'll come.
Does anyone have any low hanging fruit that they saw that they were like, that could be different, or that could be not better because it was really fun? But do we have any?
Not really.
Yeah.
To be,
Your mom and I had one.
What'd y'all have?
We would like to see like a big QR code so we can see the agenda for the day.
Oh yeah, that's smart.
that is a
Or
good
on the
one. On the
tables, yeah.
tables, a lot of people asked me that one about the agenda.
Yeah,
Luckily,
a
I
lot
had
of people asked
memorized.
me too.
Yeah, luckily I had memorized the schedule, so
Luckily.
I could tell them. Boom, 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 boom.
I think
3:30
the
this, 5 this.
only thing that I was like, okay, this is maybe a need, is like, where the picnic tables were, maybe some like lawn umbrellas, because it was hot, and then it was raining, and it was hot, it was raining. So, I know maybe there's an obstructed view with that. So, whatever, but some shade. It was the only thing. But again, I stayed the whole time, so it obviously wasn't that big of a deal. I was in the sun. But yeah, that's the only thing really, just for like the elderly.
Question
Sure.
about the shirts.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
we
yeah.
were super jelly because they had those love is love shirts.
Oh, yeah, those
and
are
like we
cute.
showed up as commissioners, and it would be super awesome. I don't know if this is the board to bring this up, but it would be super awesome if we could like have t-shirts for every event that we go to.
Yeah, or the volunteers at least.
At least the
Yeah.
volunteers, you know what I mean? That way we could show not only allyship with that particular event, but also to be visible as social equity advisory commissioners in our
Yeah.
community.
Or even like specific BSAC pride shirts.
Yeah.
Just us.
I have to say that shirts are very expensive. I just ordered your guys' shirts with the logo and then the QR code for the grant on the
Mhm.
back, which you can cover up if you don't want to show that as well.
Right.
But it'll have your logo on there. They were fairly more
Really
expensive
expensive, huh?
than I thought.
Okay.
So we might want to consider that for budget. I'm not saying no,
Sure, sure.
but I'm saying we want to consider for budget for next year
Yeah,
then.
we need that input.
Bake sale.
It's awesome. You can wear it to every event and, you know.
Like, I don't know what would be cheaper as far as merchandise, maybe pins or something potentially.
Yeah, hats.
Like, yeah, but we can.
Yeah, just a thought.
Yeah. I guess I have another thought with how everything went. Because I know there was like the trivia night that was prior to this. Maybe if this is our lead off event.
What?
And like the actual like pride celebration. So like
Oh.
Saturday be like the lead off,
Yeah.
and then have like our other events after, because like this gained so much energy and so much attraction, and there were so many people that if there was more for them to attend after,
They would continue. Oh,
it would like kind of continue to bring that energy and that attendance.
Yeah.
So like cool, like we had so much fun at this, we enjoyed it all.
let's go to
Like,
trivia.
cool, let's go to trivia this
Yeah.
Tuesday.
An after party
Right.
would be dope. That
After
same
party.
night of the festivities, like the big pride, like that, what we had on Saturday, the after party afterwards would have been lit.
Definitely would like, and I think, yeah, like that electricity and
Like
that
you said,
energy
kind of
and just
start
like,
off and then keep the ground, keep it,
And-
hit the ground running.
yeah, so like, maybe have trivia or like an after party, and then like how our allyship is after this, like we still have that. We all are still in such a that good feeling right now to know that was in 3 days, 2 days, 2 days that we're gonna have like that allyship. So like if trivia was tomorrow on Tuesday, be the 18th, and then have allyship the 19th, then you're kind of
Yeah.
going,
Maybe put something on Sunday, whether it be like a ride or like some type of,
yeah, if you wanted to do like a
Outdoor activity,
walk or a
brunch,
ride or
whatever.
like another kind of way to group everyone together. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe even have another yoga event.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Kind of bookend it with the yoga.
I will say that I do like Saturday as that main day though,
Mhm.
for a lot of reasons. But I think Saturdays are, that's a really good day.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to push it to like Thursday or Friday.
No, like if, we kind of started hot on that Saturday, continued the week with like trivia, allyship, and after party on Saturday,
Yeah.
and maybe rolled into like the next Saturday or Sunday and had like a yoga, kind of like a cool down.
Yeah.
Like a
Sound bath, all the
cool-
things.
Right. So like, either a walk or a bike ride, like how we did like the puppy decorating last year.
Oh, yeah,
Should
that's
have been
cute.
bike decorating, but puppy decorating as well.
Yeah.
But just another thing that's not as high energy. But
Mhm.
more, we can still continue to bring in other vendors who might not have been available that weekend, just to continue the conversations.
Yeah.
But I guess not as maybe like a level 5.
Yeah. And I know the
Where-
fireside chat had a lot of engagement as well, which was awesome. I think overall it was a night and day difference from first year to second year, which is like what we want to see, right? So I'm just really proud of what went on. Really happy about it. But yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, I think I think that could be, I guess, a fun sequence of events if it works out schedule wise. But
It's not like, oh, like Brack made presents one day a year. Like it's nice to know that it's continuing support and teaching and educating people, and that's really awesome. Yeah.
like sometimes a month worth of events are kind of hard, but to know like a strong week
A strong good week.
like worth of events.
Mhm.
Then you have like time diversity as well, depending on what your schedule is. But your bigger ones on at least a starting Saturday and a finishing Sunday. would
Mhm.
be a nice path.
Yeah. Yeah, and it can give more people a chance to interact too, whether it be small businesses in the area or just people, you know, the public community. Cool.
Excuse me. And then on to our next subcommittee. So that one took a long time. Community outreach and engagement. We talked about the BTO model contracts because I know they came to us and we talked more about both using ourselves or our friends, but we did just talk about a form with like contact information, the form that we could help design with contact information, your family size, your kids' age range, and to not be super specific about that. So just like you have infants and toddlers, elementary school kids, middle age, like or high school. So that way, like you kind of know how old the kids are, but you don't need an exact age on how old someone's kids are. If you're like, hey, we're looking for someone with young kids, you're like, cool. This is a family with toddlers. You're like, perfect. Like, I don't need to know if they're 6. They're kids. They'll tell you that in the moment. But as far as public information goes, you don't need to. We don't need to share that information. I know they're always looking for multi-generational families with grandparents as well. What their availability would be, and then have a Spanish version of this as well, just so that when they're going to look through for their shoots that they want to do around town, they just have access to
Like a Rolodex.
yeah. So more families, and it's not just emailing the people that they've worked with in the past.
Before, yeah.
Or bringing people from outside of our community. That way, hopefully, we can get more families from inside of our community as well. And community influence, education and influence. We worked on that equity lens that we showed earlier and the new color scheme. And then we rewrote the objective to say the purpose of the equity and inclusivity lens is to provide a tool to allow us to make better decisions that result in a more equitable and inclusive outcomes. Just because it was like 3 times longer to begin with.
And it sounded like it was repetitive, a lot of
Very
those words too.
redundant.
So we're like, wait, didn't we just say that?
Thank you, Scott.
Great, thank you. So we are gonna work to have a more editable version. So just if we wanted to change the colors or anything like that, we could do it a bit more seamlessly, upload it to our BCAC website, and then ask the BTO to upload it to One Breck as a business resource. And as I guess, man, we've talked about a lot of this today. Our land acknowledgement and working on, Scott actually had a conversation with Larissa, who spoke with Ernest House, who unfortunately will not be able to attend a meeting. But hopefully we can have some good conversations with him in the future. And we did talk more about finalizing our document and coming to him with a more complete idea and not asking him to write something for us. Because we understand that with his position with the Ute tribe, there are a lot of people coming to him asking him to write land acknowledgements and approve of their use of the land that they're on. So we want to continue our work with what we have because it's well thought out and very respectful, and his opinion would be loved. But I feel that we're going in the right direction and we're being very gentle with our approach. And if he would like to acknowledge it and accept it and approve of it, that would be amazing. But I think with the gentle steps that we're taking, we're not creating a piece that's made in haste and without care that he would not like. So I think we are very much headed in the right direction, and whenever the opportunity is available for him, I would love to learn more of his history and of his tribe's use of this land. And so I'm not from here, so I would just be very valuable to myself. I think we're on a really good path with that. And as we talked about earlier, just taking our land acknowledgement and bringing it to town council. And then we also mentioned creating a video explaining how we got here so that
Mhm.
the people who will use our land acknowledgement know the care and the time that we've took to develop it. So hopefully that'll create more of a conversation that if there are any changes, people will come to us with their explanation and their reasoning onto why to change things, and it won't just be without consideration to the thought that we've put into it.
Mhm.
I think that's the best way to phrase that.
Yeah.
I try and take my time with these things. uh, Immigration rights and advocacy. Do you an update, Sylvia or Lisa? Floor.
So Molly Boyd from the rec center was there, or from rec department or division. She was there representing the rec center, and we are for sure hoping for an open house for July 17th. More information to come, but what we basically want is an open house for our Spanish speaking community members to come in and get to know what does the rec center offer. So there will be tours, information about schedules and information about scholarship opportunities. And we're hoping that it'll also give them like some sort of incentive beyond that day to have a 3-day punch, so that they can come back and experience it. And then hoping for some classes as well, like some health and fitness classes with some interpreters so they can do Spanish classes. And then we're hoping to also partner with the town of Silverthorne so that we could do it the same day, both ends of the county and both rec centers. So hoping for that.
I love that. That's awesome.
But yes,
You
we're
guys.
moving forward on that, and hopefully more information to come, but we're hoping for July 17th. And then speaking of that Spanish training classes, so we talked a lot about how we can contract trainers. And unfortunately, some like the one of the ways that we can have some Spanish speaking trainers or some Spanish speaking classes around wellness and fitness are going to be through almost them doing it on their own and then renting the space from the rec center, do some legalities. And so that would cost us $129 per hour. They're still trying to figure out if we would get a better rate, but that's kind of what they're thinking. And the way it would work is it would almost be like Mountain Dreamers would do it. So we would rent it to them, and then they would get the person, and then they would host the classes.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more complicated than we thought. So I think the easiest way would be to be able to get someone who's interested in becoming a fitness instructor or a fitness coach, and can work for the rec center. It is part-time. It's 22 to $32 the hour.
That's lit.
And usually
Too
they
bad.
get paid for 1.5 hours of work. So half an hour to prep and then an hour to teach. So that would be the best scenario. And then they could just be one of our town employees. And then we could have more Spanish speaking trainers.
Yeah.
But the other option, like I said, would be that renting the space and having almost Mountain Dreamers get the people and doing it, kind of like a third party.
Do we have it in our budget?
Well, we could apply for one of the mini grants.
That's that. Could we use the grant for that?
Hoping we could, if
Yeah.
you guys approve, I could submit the application with Mountain Dreamers, and then that would give us probably like maybe 10 to 15 classes.
I was just about to ask you, how many hours would that give us to work with?
Yeah, if we do, I believe I did the $2,000. We would do,
Yeah.
we would have
29
10
or
to
something.
15 classes depending on how much that person might charge us, and if it's free, like We'll
Yeah.
have to figure that out, but like 15 to 10, which is still pretty good, I think. I mean, it would be something.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get more people that are interested in becoming employed by the rec center, and that could potentially create a little bit more. And then also another thing could be we could hire translator for classes, but I haven't looked into what that cost would be.
Okay.
But just finding more ways of how do we provide classes that people can come
And
to.
that about the translation thing, I was thinking it would be funny because I think that would be kind of complicated. Because first, what is the point of having a translator there? Is not actually to
Teach
needs
it.
it. No, somebody who needs it in the
Get those
class.
earbuds.
You know, so that would be hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking it's kind of funny because it's like, come on, do it hard. And then somebody is yelling the same thing in Spanish. I was thinking that's going to be so funny. But
Yeah, just seeing that in practice.
so I was just hearing the I was just like kind of laughing inside my head, but it was kind of funny to me. But
When I pictured it being fully Spanish, no
exactly,
translation.
that's what I was saying. That
Yeah.
because that was one of the options they were thinking.
Yeah.
But it would be like, come on, let's do it now, like
That's
better, faster, do it fast, and then in Spanish. It would be one of the things that I was saying, and I think is also to have, and they were talking probably the ambience music in the rec center to put it in not just in English, also to put like in different languages. Because I was saying it doesn't necessarily need to be just Spanish.
Yeah.
Because it's so many international music. I
Just
don't
more
know,
diverse music
there
in
is-
general.
Exactly,
Mhm, mhm.
exactly. And I was saying that it would be also good, like, because I was telling them like when I go and we're in the spinning class and everybody's like, yeah, this song, blah blah. And I'm like,
And
I
you're
don't
like,
even know what song is that,
Yeah.
like, and everybody's song is, so it would be also good not
Totally.
just to look that, but also try to make it like with music from another countries.
Right.
They not just
Yeah.
identify just with
Culturally responsive.
Americans, but with some other cultures would be cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I know when I hear like a good song on spinning, I'm like, let's go. And like to have you have that same experience is super important. I understand.
I don't know what this song is.
Yeah.
But it was a very productive meeting, and it was eye-opening to just to see where different perspectives come from. Like the idea, I was late to that meeting, so I apologize. But walking in there, there was already like a little mindset, and it was like, okay, let's do this open house, and just so she said a phrase that really caught my eye, and she's like, I want to make sure that they know what the rec center offers and see if it's a good fit. And I came back and I said, that is awesome. And I love that you guys are open to doing that, but we don't want to see if this is a good fit for them because we know it's not. How can we make this a good fit? for it? And it was kind of call to action. And we started talking a lot about these, like using the mini grant as an option, but this is just to get things started, to kind of ramp them up. The translating option was if case we don't have anybody that offers that capability of teaching or instructing in Spanish or a different language, just to get things moving in the right direction. But we got them thinking about implementing this in their budget because they're like, we don't have this in our budget right now. I'm like, well, we're getting very close to planning all those here towards the end of the year. Why not include it for next year already? These things are just to get things moving along and just to see that action start happening. So it's really awesome to see all that and all these conversations coming back and forth and ideas, and it's good.
Can I ask a question of the subcommittee? And this is again coming, let me preface this comment with, I'm looking at this through the lens of my work with CMC, but has there been any consideration of including our West African, mainly Senegalese population in this conversation? Because I know we do a lot of this with our ESL classes, bringing in like the community care clinic, et cetera, from the health and wellness standpoint. But I was just wondering, has there been conversations to include that group? Not to overcomplicate what has already been happening, but I think there is another group of individuals that are similar to our Spanish speakers that could benefit from health and wellness knowledge, support, access, and opportunity.
We have not, unfortunately. With the pocket talks, we have gonna make a station where it's gonna have like signs that says this is a pocket doc station, comes if you need help in another language. And there we have included French and Russian and Spanish as the languages, or any other language as well, but we don't know who else would need it, but those were the three that we see the most.
Mhm.
So those would be there, but no, not for the classes. But that's a good thought. If we could find a French translator or a French, because we would need someone to give the tours in
Right.
French as well. But I mean, we're happy to look into it. I believe, right?
Yeah, and as a like give back, or we wanted more like documented information as far as what the communities need. So for this open house, anyone that would like to participate, we would just have them do like a quick questionnaire when they arrive, and then they can use the facility for free the rest of the day, and take any of those tours and things like that. So that would be a great opportunity if it was advertised to multiple communities,
Yeah.
then what those needs would be and what they look like. That would be
Not gonna have it like only Spanish speakers can have free access, that they know everyone can
Right.
have.
Everyone
Yeah,
can have access
yeah.
who takes the questionnaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not limiting it, but targeting it towards them. But yeah, we'll definitely look into seeing if we could get a French interpreter to help us with the tours.
Do you think if we have like some of those flyers?
I was
so
just gonna say, do y'all have
can-
any marketing materials? Because like I
Not
said, I can start
yet,
getting to the ESL
but
instructors
it's
right
in the
now.
works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but
moment y'all get them, I can start to get them. Like I said, at least in those classes where I know there's individuals that could benefit from this.
I also think that opens up like a broader discussion in general on like the groups that we want to really include in, I don't know, the resources and support and the outreach that we try to, give out. Because I think our immigration population is growing.
Mhm.
And so it's important to recognize that moving forward. Period. Yeah. But yeah,
Appreciate y'all entertaining that.
And then just real quick, because we do have a presentation coming up, but for the summit, We Are Summit video, are we okay with it being We Are Summit, or do we want it to be We Are Breck? If we do We Are Summit, and the subcommittee did say that they would love to see it be Summit, because then we can expand who can be part of it. We would like to work with other towns to see if they can spread it and kind of, help us with that. But how does the commission feel about it being We Are Summit immigrant group video, or We Are Breckenridge, or both?
We Are Summit. I personally, that's my vote. For voting.
Is it gonna complicate things if we bring in all the other towns in any way?
It could not. I mean, we could end up doing all the work, which is fine. And we just ask them to distribute it. Depends on how much they're willing to give us. I know that I'm with the Summit that cares group, and so it's Tuan, and I know the county would love. I mean, they would definitely have someone who would love to be part of it. But all the other towns, I'm not sure. Maybe town of Silverthorne, they have Itzel, who's really good with this kinds of stuff, but we don't know. Town of Frisco, we don't know.
I feel like
We do a my bad.
No, you're fine.
Go ahead. Tosh.
I was gonna say, I feel like specifically based off of the message that we're trying to send, it would be, in my opinion, what's the word? Almost like a disservice to just say we're Breck. If it was like a Go Breck campaign, sure. But we're trying to be inclusive and equitable. So to only say we're only inclusive and equitable in Breckenridge, in my opinion, is kind of irresponsible. I think that it's important to like, yes, we are the Breckenridge Social Equity Advisory Commission, but we are supportive of the whole county and everyone that lives in it. And you know what I mean? We're a resource for everybody, not just for Breckenridge people.
I like both. To be honest with you. We Are Breck and We Are Summit. That's just from where I'm coming from. I like to own both.
We'll probably get more if we do We Are Summit.
Yeah, I think with like how close our entire county is, and just kind of the ebb and flow across all of the towns. I think with the opportunity to do We Are Summit, and take our commission and engage in the other towns and not to like push them to do anything that they're not doing already, but just to acknowledge everyone who lives throughout Summit County. Would be a really nice opportunity because not everyone can afford to live in Brecken. They live in a different part of the county, but they might work here. So just to say like, hey, we are of this county and
Oh, backwards. Like we live here, but we work in Dillon.
yeah, and yeah, I'm over in Frisco
Mm,
now. and
One of the reasons I would love for it to be Summit is we have had a lot of help with the Mountain Dreamers group, and they're not necessarily live in Breck or work in Breck. So it would be kind of a little disrespect saying, oh, it's just Breck.
When they did all the help.
When they have done a
Oh,
lot of
yes.
the input and valuable opinions. So I would love for it to be more encompassing and just saying it's Summit County.
I know like when we rolled out our blueprint, like we rolled that out to all of Summit County. Like it wasn't just yeah, like we were over at the senior center in Frisco and had eyes on it from all parts of the county to kind of help with their efforts as well. So it'd be really nice to continue to engage and acknowledge everyone here and everyone who's working on their own equity and inclusivity efforts across the county.
Perfect. Then I think we'll move forward and we'll start making a list of people who want to participate.
Thank you.
And then just real quick, we're also looking at the idea of bringing the Mexican mobile consulate to Breckenridge. So they approved the subcommittee, but the other people approved. Hopefully, it's okay. If we approve starting movement on that conversation. Civic Engagement said they would be happy to help in their last meeting as well. So this one might be a multiple subcommittee work, but it might be a really nice thing to do that might open the doors for other consulates too, who might want to come and present here or do documents and stuff here.
Or can you expand a little bit on that? What it would look like? What is the objective and goal like with that movement?
So the Mexican consulate comes and allows for people to come and get passports or any other documents that they need from their home country. The reason why it's mobile is it's faster, like they can print documents same day right there and then. And getting an appointment to go to the Mexican consulate in Denver right now is very hard, and people are on wait list. Oh, they don't even have wait lists. They just have to continue to check and when they have availability. So, and then they have to drive all the way over there, and it's a full day kind of thing. Versus here, they can, Mountain Dreamers said that they could help the community create the appointments, and we could ask of other organizations to help make those appointments. And then they could just come get their documents, get it all figured out. They don't have to drive to Denver. And it's probably like, if we help them figure it out, they have a guaranteed place versus in Denver, they have to keep trying. And
description of what that looks like. For example, they open up only appointments online on a Tuesday, and then as soon as they run out, they're run out. Then you have to wait until the next week. And our Mexican consulate in Denver not only serves Denver or Colorado, but they serve other states as well. So you can see the demand that to try to get an appointment, it's like really, really hard. So having that little mobile center come to us, they would be just serving our county or anybody that could schedule an appointment, which would be a lot easier to help get these documents out, because not having federal documents, like to even get a post office box, or like make it really hard for other people to get services and things done here in the county.
Yeah. So more information to come. Hoping to partner with CMC. I haven't reached out, but hoping you guys here. Hoping to partner with them for the place, because they would be a great location. And they've done it before.
Right, yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. And now we have a presenter. Come right down.
Yeah, we have a presenter. Oh, I'll give her an introduction. This is Dr. Martina Sharp-Greer. We happen to be related. And she's going to talk to us about DEI and what she kind of does and what her specialties are. And I heard a rumor that there might be a little activity. So we'll see. And then use the microphone. You can sit, you can stand. It's mobile, so. Oh yeah, it's
My
on. It's on.
Thing is that I don't sit because I'm a little bit of a nervous bug, so I walk around, and I hope that's okay. First of all, hi, my name is Martina, and I think I've met everybody, so yay. The reason that I'm here today, not the reason, but kind of what sparked this kind of presentation is that I've been in contact clearly with Taja, and I've spoken with Scott a little bit about how I can be a part of promoting diversity, equity, inclusion in Breck and Summit, right? This is my life's work, and I really, really love this approach that you're taking. And so I would love to be able to give my talents, to lend my voice, to lend my expertise in any way that I can. So I have prepared just a little bit of a presentation and a little bit of that one right there. A little bit of that's okay. If necessary, then I can just run my mouth and we don't have to have visuals. It's okay.
Good. They're gonna get it up.
No, no, no.
Is that what it is?
That's, yeah, if you just show that one, that's fine too.
That's cute.
Oh, stop. So anyway, just a little bit about me. Because yeah. So my name is Martina again, and so I hold a doctorate in sociology, and with my emphasis on first sociology of work, secondarily diversity and inclusion, intersectionalities, those kinds of things. I also work in sociology of education. I do qualitative work, which means in my research I can do quantitative, but I prefer to talk. So I want to hear what people have to say. I want to kind of, like Taj said, kind of give voices to people that oftentimes don't have voices. So that's where I am. Yeah.
Just wait, Mom.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I just can't focus.
Going. Right?
Maybe screen one
Screen one?
There.
and then go to the person.
And then
I think it's good now. Oh. There we go.
that's fine.
And that's fine. We're good.
Perfectly fine. That's
We're on slide 3. You want to be on slide 2?
yeah. Okay, so that's who I am. That's my professional self. Ta-da. Again, I've done this work for a long time. I've worked as a parole officer. I've worked as a therapist, a brief therapist. I've worked with all kinds of different populations in all kinds of different settings. So again, this is kind of where my wheelhouse is. I've written extensively on diversity and equity inclusion, both academically and in trade journals, those kinds of things. And I've helped to develop curriculum for international and national kind of presentations. So that's kind of where I am. That's professional self. Can we scooch forward to the slide? Thank you. So my thing is authenticity. So that was Dr. Martina. This is Marty. This is me. So I don't know, maybe Tasha can help you understand why my children call me Madra. I don't know. I'm Mama G. My mother calls me Mart Fart. I'll be 57 next month. She still calls me Mart Fart. My brother calls me Sissa. I'm a auntie. I'm a cousin. I do all the things. And these are the things that I really prefer. Like I'm a native Pittsburgher. I love all kinds of different music, particularly world house and amapiano. I'm definitely an introvert and love bad reality TV, which I actually kind of justify by suggesting that it has sociological content, so I can like analyze people. Because my focus, right? My focus is on sociological social psychology. So I like to understand why individuals and groups do the things that they do, as opposed to kind of looking at large scale like phenomena. I want to know what people have in their heads and why they do what they do. And that's exactly why I like to watch reality TV, bad reality TV. So my question is, and I know we've been a little bit disjointed, my question is, which one of the 2 slides that you saw with all the Dr. Marty stuff on it, and then me, right? Which one resonates with you more and why? Can I ask that? Which?
Well, I'm gonna pick your authentic self because as academics, we have a lot of titles and things, but that doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people.
No.
But I can resonate with all these things.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Pittsburgher.
Yay. Yeah. Go Steelers. Anyway, anybody else? Any other thoughts?
I'm gonna say the same, but just I feel like I know all the information, so I kind of cheated. But yeah, I just feel like first of all, the pictures, like there's you in different settings, whereas the first slide was just like, who you think you're emailing. This is, like, who you're
Exactly.
actually emailing.
Exactly.
And I also think there's more of you on this page
Mhm.
as in relation to like yourself.
Mhm.
Whereas like, yes, those academic achievements are a part of you, but they're not really who you are.
Right. They're not applicable on a day-to-day basis. Like when I was at Pride, like Dr. Marty had no business being there, right? That's just nothing at all. This is who showed up at Pride. So, okay, thank you for that, both of you. Can we scooch forward a little bit, please? So my idea is authenticity. And the work that I do, right, whether I'm public speaking or in front of my students, and the work that I'm hearing you speak of this morning, the most important thing that I think sticks at me is authenticity. We have to show up as who we are and allow those people that we work with and we serve to show up as who they are. And the only way that we're going to get anything done, that we're going to reach any consensus, that we're going to help the people that we're interested in helping is to be our authentic selves, right? There is no other way. Because if we show up with our titles and all of the things that we're taught or we're told that are important, if we show up with that, that could mean nothing, like you said. The Marty slide meant more than the Dr. Martinez slide, right? So if we show up in our authentic selves, we are more likely to reach people. We are more likely to be able to get them to speak about what their needs are and how we as a community and how we as individuals can help them in their efforts to feel more included and to diversify our organizations, right? Can we scooch for a little bit, please? Sorry, I feel like I'm narrating.
No, you're good. You are.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of activity. So just kind of think about it. I usually ask people to do this with respect to like writing them down, but maybe just think in your head. Your trusted 10. Who are your people that you trust the most? Who are they? Right? That the exercise says 10. I've got like 5. Sometimes people have less than that, and that's okay. But who are they? Say again.
I'm struggling with 10.
See, yeah, I don't have 10. Like I don't. Like it just doesn't work that way. But again, as you can see here, what is the race of those people? Right? What is their ethnicity? What is their sexual orientation and their gender identity? 2 separate things, right? What's the social class of those people that you trust, that you kind of surround yourself with, that you resonate with, right? Just kind of think about that for a minute, kind of gather those people in your head, and then we'll move forward a little bit. Just think about it. Mm-hmm. So as we consider those trusted 10, I know it's a lot of stuff on here. I want us to think about the importance of the 10, right, to ourselves and our lives and our perspectives, right? So that 10 is in a really, really salient way for us, our socialization mechanism. That's the group of folks who really help us to understand who we are as individuals and to understand how we interact with other people. Right? So if we have the opportunity to see, okay, so this is my nucleus of people. This is my core kind of location of where I'm standing with these folks that I've kind of gathered around me. Who's missing? Who's missing? What perspectives are not being represented on our day-to-day basis, with our own paradigms? And that translates into our work, right? That notion of who we are and who we surround ourselves with, which really gives us an understanding of who we are through that socialization process. And I'm not going to go Doc Marty on all the way because I can't. I love this stuff. This is where I live, right? So this notion of how does our group process or do our group processes impact how we work with others, impact what we see, the way that we see, what we hear, and what we understand is important. Back to that whole thing about what's more important, the Doc Marty or the Marty, right? What's important, and that social location that we carry with us is going to help us to understand or help others to understand what we see is important. And that's going to show or guide us in how we do our work. So again, my understanding today, my challenge, and I'm speaking to the choir clearly here, my challenge to y'all is to help you kind of think about your authentic selves. Who are you? What do you carry? Why do you carry it? And what does what you carry, right, mean to what you do? And where are those gaps? Where are the gaps at? And how can we close those gaps individually, collectively, and on a larger scale with the city, with the town, excuse me, and with the county, right? Where can we interrupt those processes that aren't going the way we want to, right? So again, that's just kind of where my focus is. And I kind of prepared a little bit because again, my goal is to be able to be of service to you in any way that I possibly can. Can we switch a little forward? Thank you. So this idea of, so how can I help in this conversation? Right? What I just did just right here is just a snippet. I do this, I speak now internationally, I write like prolifically, like ridiculously. I don't need to write anymore. But anyway, this is what I do, right? And so I would love to be of help in kind of working within the blueprint that you've established, right? And you can see here the things that I can potentially help with respect to the town itself. And then the next slide is with respect to the commission itself. What can I help do within the guidelines of your fundamental objectives, right? So what are those things that you would maybe allow me to be of service to you with? Okay, so that's my presentation, just to kind of give you a little bit of a mind teaser this morning about authenticity. Where you at, what you're doing, how you're working, what's it look like, that kind of thing. And then, kind of inviting myself to the party as far as, how can I help you? So again, thank you for giving me a little bit of time to talk. And yeah, if I can be of help, please don't hesitate to call upon me.
Thank you. Love you. Love you.
Good plate. Well, you already know we got the to-go bags for you.
Does anyone have any questions? Wait, Mom, come back. Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Martina Shepherd? No?
I don't really have a question. Thank you for the presentation. Mission, but I
Yeah.
look forward to working with you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Again, this is what I do and what I love to do. So, and I just, it's my passion. And so if I can be of help.
You need to use
Sorry.
the microphone. Right, that way.
It's okay. Yeah, that's right. If I can be of help, I would love to be. Again, this is what I do. I've done it for the last 20x amount of years. So, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Use that resource.
Thank you for the,
Little snippet.
I guess, awareness and the challenge of making sure that we're thinking in the perspectives of those around us as well. And always considering that when we're making ideas and just interacting and and with our 10 and, just because some may be older and of different backgrounds and when anything happens, making sure you're not only into yourself, but also as of them as well, and making sure that their best interests are considered as well.
Yeah,
So thank you for that.
I agree. I feel like what resonated with me is like not only the best interests of the people around me, but the best interests of myself when considering who I surround myself with. And like, does that shape my thought about myself or my narrative about people like me just based off of the people that I surround myself with inevitably, by choice, whatever. I think it's really interesting. And I think that a lot of people get comfortable, especially in this community. I feel like it's a very predictable. I hate to say that, but kind of thinking, why is it predictable? Why are we, whatever. Yes. Yeah.
Definitely a call to expand your circles and what
Yeah.
it'll be and
or wonder why you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's, so many people in this community from so many different backgrounds. It's the reason to go out and say hello to someone that you wouldn't normally talk to, and high five someone leaving City Market or
I'm
something.
sure they don't bite. Not that true. Well, thank you. We could where's, I guess, like, I don't know where to really move forward. Okay.
Yeah, we would love, I mean, I know I would love to involve you, and I know we can bring this to our subcommittees and I guess have a bit more of a discussion about it.
Mhm.
And we want to use you as
Facilitator of like workshops even, because I know you do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Try the best, you know.
I'm
create
thinking even
conversations.
internally, we have a DEI committee and we're gonna do some lunch and learn and some education. So we'd love to reach out and
Facilitation.
It'd be really cool to expand your presentation to not just this commission, but
Yeah.
to expand it to more of a community workshop. I
City
feel like
council.
so
Yeah.
you all would be involved, obviously, whoever could attend, but also to expand it to friends and family and folks
Mhm.
who might also benefit from it and do it in a maybe a better space than this. It's a little more
A little more cozy.
yeah, communal
Maybe some
and-
lunch.
yeah,
Yeah.
might be a good place to do that. So we can talk about it at our subcommittees and
Mhm.
come out with a plan if that helps.
And that could be another opportunity too, to engage the entire county and not just Breck, because we are so transverse in where we live and where we work that just creating the larger sense of community throughout the entire county, I think would be great. And
Yeah.
I know we like to be a bit poignant too in what we ask of people. So I know we have a lot of great ideas and we'll come up with more, but we don't want to run you around too much. Okay. So yeah, we'll collect all of our ideas and we'll see what can work best for everyone's time.
Oh yeah, that, that's your job. So like if we do, yeah, we can brainstorm off of each other. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So Scott, any upcoming council discussions?
You all read what was in there. I would ask, I know we're in the interest of time. I know some folks are ready to roll out. I just want to make sure that you all had, if you have any questions about our upcoming council meeting or meetings, if there's anything that jumped out at you that you were curious about, I don't need to go through all of them unless you would like me to.
There's no time constraints. I'll eat my questions.
Yep.
Don't-
Thank you.
I don't see anything.
There you go. I was like, wait a second.
So
Here's
if everyone is all set with today, then I would love to adjourn today's meeting. Motion to approve
Motion to approve.
and a second.
Seconded.
Third. Awesome.
Did everyone get enough cards?
Yeah, I think I got plenty.
Oh, there's more?
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone who was able to attend and who's been present. And I love you all and have a great day.
Thanks. You too.
Meeting set yet for next round?
I'm not sure.
I didn't think so.
Work with Taja's schedule.
Right, I know.